Well, hello and welcome in everybody to another Sports Scene special. Today, of course, is May the 1st, 2024. I'm your host as always, and you see him right there. That's the ever so effervescent one, Donnie Wood. What's going on, brother?
Hey, David, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay. Your dial up
No.
is working fine over there. That's great.
All right.
That's fine. What are you wearing, sir? Let's talk about your outfit.
Hey, man, there's a game going on tonight.
There is a game going on tonight. Would you like to know the score?
Well, the Mavericks game don't start till after 9, so I'll be long gone from here.
Oh, okay.
And there's another game going on.
Yeah.
This,
Ranger
I
game.
know the Stars
And the
playing, the
Star game's
Rangers
going on.
playing.
My sports
Man,
sports pants are going crazy.
I know it.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff. You're freezing up a little bit on the video there. I don't know what kind of
I'm,
system they got over there, but
I think it's on your end. I'm in the office.
I'm in the office too, man.
I do hear an echo.
Oh, yeah. Let me tone your volume down just a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Okay, we are of course coming on today. Is that better, Donnie?
Let's see. Nope, I
Hello.
still hear the echo.
Yeah, I hear an echo when you talk too. I don't know what's up there. Okay, well, let's get right on into it because this is going to be fun. We're going to have a great time because me and Donnie, according to some conversations we've been having and some posts I've been seeing around, we don't see eye to eye on some of the things that the Cowboys are doing. We're going to start off with Cowboys because the NFL draft was just the other day. I spent quite a bit of time composing. I want you to look at this, Donnie Wood. These are these are all my notes for the NFL draft, and I watched every round, painstakingly watched it. I created this myself. I didn't copy and paste or nothing like that. This is my stuff, and quite brilliantly, I should say, because almost all the picks, especially in the early rounds, I was dead on, Donnie, dead on. But on some of them, they went with a different position player. It was the same position, but a different player, and it went on and on. So I'm pretty proud of my first round for sure. The second round, I don't know what happened there, um, but we're going to talk about it because Donnie has a different take on some of the things pertaining to the draft and pertaining to some moves by the Cowboys here of late. So we're going to get into the hot topics real quick, and then we'll get into the games that are going on right now. Donnie's already mentioned it. Two playoff teams in our area are playing right now. The Dallas Stars, they tied up the series after going two down, and now they are fighting their way back. It's an exciting series. I love hockey. Playoff hockey is great, and the Stars are going to do it, buddy. They're going to do it tonight. They're going to win tonight. You just watch it, and they're going to wind up taking this series. So it's really exciting times there. The Dallas Mavericks, they're going to win tonight. So if you want to stay up real late and see what's going on, uh, Donnie, I went and got some money out of your bank account today, and I placed. It wasn't a whole lot of money. I'm a little upset with you, but I took your money and I bet all of it on the Clippers. And then I took my money and I put it all on the Mavericks. So there you go. We're covered.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you didn't get much out of me.
I know there wasn't much in there. I felt kind of bad. You gonna
Yeah,
miss that? You gonna miss that $24?
yeah. I need that 24 bucks. Buy me a couple hot dogs and Quick Trip.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Well, I'll tell you. So let's get into the draft. The Dallas Cowboys, of course, took 8 draft picks in the NFL draft in 2024, and I'm ecstatic, elated, happy, super glad on almost every pick that they went with. And Donnie, not so much. Donnie wasn't very, very pleased. Here's what they did. In the first round, they trade back. They trade down to 29. They were at 24. They went to 29. At the time, me and Donnie were texting back and forth, and I said, watch what's going to happen here. They're going to take this player. They took exactly that player, did they not, Donnie?
Yeah,
Who
in
they
the first
traded with?
4 picks.
Yeah. And then they took a couple of offensive linemen that was in the collection that we were talking about, the tackles and of course the centers and all that. And then it came time for the Dallas Cowboys to pick, and they went with the one that I thought that they should take at that spot, and I'm quite happy with it. Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma is going to make a good left tackle. And, watching not only film on this guy and reading all of the things about him, this is Tyler Guyton, just in case anybody wants to know. Here he is. That's a big boy right there, isn't he, Donnie?
He is tall and big.
He is big. And look at them arms. Arms like that remind me of a guy that we just lost, which was Tyron Smith. Had them long arms, those big hands, able to move his feet really well. He was a high school tight end, so he has some athleticism. And I feel really good about this. And I love this quote. Here, let me pull down this banner real quick. On the field, I want to hurt people. I'm violent. That sounds like you, Donnie.
That's right.
Or your ex-wife, one or the other. I might be confused, but yeah, sounds just like you. I like this pick here. I like the fact that the Cowboys did their due diligence, and they thought, hey, look, we're going to be safe here. We'll have a couple of options at 29. We're going to be fine. We're going to get us a starting player in that deal. I got some notes on him here, Donnie. After they traded down, they got the left tackle. They say that he should start right away, and they picked up a third-round pick. Now, this is big, Donnie. This is big. They pick up a third-round pick. It was the 73rd, the 87th overall pick, and that was huge because it allows them to go down and pick another high-caliber player in that third round because you're still inside the top 100. The top 100 are the players that really, really count the most, and they were able to do that. So I'm applauding them at that. And it was really, really good. I was very impressed with him at the press conference that he had on Friday, and he seems that he's really, really willing to get in and start studying and being able to be a player that we can count on for quite some time. What are your thoughts on the first pick there, Donnie? Tyler Guyton.
Well, I mean, looking back on it, I like what they did mainly because they dropped down 5 picks and gained a extra third round pick. If you look on the way the system shows it, they should have only got a 4th round pick. So they really won that trade because only backing down 5 picks and picking up an early 3rd round pick, I mean, that was really smart. I mean, for them, obviously, Jerry must have been sleeping there in that time, so they were able to do something good at that time. So I do applaud him for that. I think Guyton, he's still a little raw. He needs to work up on his upper body strength. He's definitely got to do that. I'm worried that he's probably just going to be a right tackle, and in the first round, you hope if you're picking a tackle, you're hoping that he's going to be a left tackle for you. So I don't think he will be, but I think he'll be a solid right tackle. There might be a little bit of hiccups at the beginning of it all, but I think it's a pretty good pick, especially getting that 3rd round pick out of it instead of a 4th round.
I tell you what, Donnie, it would not surprise me if they start him out at right, but I do see him as a left tackle. With some development and some great coaching. And, in the NFL, they have that. And, for that high of a pick, you're right. You want to be a left tackle. And I think the Cowboys, they have the staff that will be able to get him to that point. And so I applaud that pick. I mean, I especially applaud the fact that they did move down and they did gain that 3rd round. All right, let's go to the 2nd round because me and Donnie both said that they needed to pick up a running back. And in my mock draft, I had them in the 56th overall pick selecting the running back out of Texas, Jonathan Brooks, which Donnie really, really wanted because, Donnie's, he's one of them big-time homers. But I didn't have him selecting him. Let's see, where did I have him selecting? Yeah, Jonathan Brooks with the 56th pick, okay? Jonathan Brooks did not get to the 56th pick. Somebody took him early. And who was that, Donnie? Was it Washington?
No, it wasn't Washington. If you give me a second, I'll find out. But it wasn't Washington. Yeah, they picked early. It was kind of surprising that he went as early as he did.
Yeah, yeah, it was very surprising, and everybody was kind of shocked over
He
it.
went to Carolina.
There went the only running back I had graded, really, in the second round. Now there was another running back that was taken in the second round, Trey Benson. Trey Benson was taken early in the second round, which again I don't understand it. I really just did not understand Benson going that high. I had him as a mid to late round pick in the third round, and really I had Jalen Wright slotted ahead, the running back out of Tennessee. I had him slated ahead, and I wanted them, if they couldn't get Brooks at 56, I wanted the Cowboys to take Wright at 73. So when the second round selection happened, I was okay, because with the 56th overall pick, the Cowboys took this guy right here, and I think he's going to be a player, Donnie. This guy right here, Marshawn Kneeland, in the second round, out of Western Michigan. It seems like to me that this is a Mike Zimmer pick. Kneeland is very, very good run stopper at the linebacker position. He likes to play up on the front of the line. However, he doesn't do as good with his hand in the dirt. He's more of a stand-up guy, kind of like Parsons. I like Parsons when he stands up. And with Parsons and D-Law and Kneeland, Cowboys are really going to pressure that quarterback with these three linebackers. Now, remember, the Cowboys did make an acquisition. They actually made two. And I'll get into this right now because this is the second round. The Cowboys, they did select a free agent this year, and that was a linebacker, Hendrickson. They took him. Hendrickson's going to take the place of where
Vander
Esch played. Yes, thank you, Donnie. He's going to play there. Overshawn, who we picked last year, I believe we got him in the third round. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Overshawn is going to be a monster this season. He has put on some weight. He looks really good. They say his movement is great. The injury might have been a blessing for him. So it took him a year to get more into pro condition and everything. He's going to be a bust-out player this year for the Cowboys. Adding of Kneeland strengthens and solidifies that linebacker core. And the way Zimmer's going to play this defense, Donnie, with Hendrickson and with Kneeland, you've got run stoppers there that are going to be able to allow Parsons to, kind of do things that is more slated for his strength, which is getting on that quarterback, okay? It's also going to force defenses to account for other people besides Parsons and besides D-Law. So I like this pick. I applaud this pick. I think it's a pretty good pick because Jonathan Brooks was not available, and he was the only running back, Donnie, that should have been picked in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Trey Benson. You knew that Benson would go, a little bit earlier than the third round, just because he was probably the second best running back, I thought. And he went after they picked Kneeland. He went at 66 to Arizona.
Yeah, I had him, Donnie, in the third round. In the third round, I did not have Benson graded as a second round running back. I just don't think.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys didn't have Marshawn Kneeland in the second round, and
right.
I think I do like that he is a good at the run. Because obviously that's where we struggled in the running. The opponent's running attack on us. I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on him. I think he's got some potential, but as a defensive end, it's going to be a guy that he's not playing all the time. He's playing, a couple of plays a series, maybe, and how that rotation is and whatnot. So, I don't know. I think I got to trust the scouting team for the Cowboys, that they saw that they would rather have Kneeland than a running back there and somebody else. I think defensive end was just a weird position to take there in the second round for me.
Yeah, but I think he plays more like a linebacker, Donnie, like an outside linebacker, edge rusher type thing. I don't really see him as a hand in the dirt, true defensive lineman. And
Well,
this
that's
was a
what
position.
Micah Parsons is.
And remember, Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler both left the Cowboys, so this was an area of significant need. We'll
Yeah,
talk
and
about.
that's a defensive end position.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he does better. They may get that out of him. They may be able to get, putting your hand down out of him. I mean, but he's a beast. Look at him, Donnie. Very impressive player, and I like him. I like him a lot. All right. So in the third round with the first pick at 73, Donnie, I had this guy, the guy that we picked. I had him going in the first round, actually, in my mock draft, and a lot of people had him going in the first round. And I'm talking about Cooper Beebe. I am super stoked about this. One of the steals of our draft for the Cowboys was Cooper Beebe. Now, this guy's out of Kansas State. He can play guard, he can play center, and the Cowboys definitely need help at both those positions, right? And so, whatever the Cowboys decide to do with their current offensive lineman, this guy can slide in. Wouldn't surprise me if he plays right away. I mean, this guy is that kind of player. He's super smart and super tough. I'm going to show you him. He's a big old boy. Now, what's cool about this guy, Donnie, is this little stat right here. Do you see it? Cooper Beebe only gave up 2 sacks on 1,259 snaps, pass blocking snaps in his career at Kansas State. What conference does Kansas State play in, Donnie?
That'd be the Big 12, sir.
The Big 12. Is that not big boy school?
That is big boy school.
And if you're a first round pick or graded out to be a first round pick, isn't it pretty cool that, well, actually, I think I had him in the second. No, I had him in the first, I think. Give me just a second. Dadgummit, where are my notes? No, yes, I had him in the first round. No, I didn't. I had him in the second round. Sorry. If you get a second round player in the third round, you're doing pretty good. Now, like I said, there's a lot of questions where he can play, but nobody questions that he's a tough son of a gun and that he's super, super smart. He likes to do the pancake block thing where he just lays them all out. If you look at his film, Donnie, he's a beast, man. He'll probably see some time at both center and at guard. But the Cowboys would love to have him get down that center position because this guy's a guy you can keep for quite some time.
Yeah, this is definitely by far my favorite pick in the draft. The third round, and obviously this is what they got with the trade because this is the third round pick they got.
No, 87 was the pick that they picked up.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this one, I mean, it was perfect for them because they needed a guard / center, which I think he'll end up being our center and we need that.
No. I'm sorry. You're right. You're absolutely right. Sorry about that.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah. That was the Lions pick. That was the Lions pick that the Cowboys got. Yes.
And it was a pretty early third round pick. And so that's why I have to say, they did a great job because you only moved down 5 spots and you still got one of the guys that was on your, list that you wanted, right? When offensive line was the area that we needed to help most, losing 2 starters off the offensive line, you need to have 2 guys to come in and start for you. And that's what they did. And, but yeah, like you said, Cooper Beebe is, he's nasty. He's going to get after it. And I really see, I know he played guard mainly in college, but he played a little bit of center. He played a little bit of tackle. That tells you how versatile and how the coaching staff for Kansas State trusts this guy to move him around like that. Because, you don't normally do that to just any offensive lineman. But I think with the center need that the Cowboys have, that's why I kind of wanted them to get either the kid out of Oregon or Zach Frazier out of West Virginia because they were pretty much true centers. But this pick I am fine with. I am this one kind of really bumps up that grade for the draft for the Cowboys. I think this is a home run pick.
Yeah, I do too. And in that other third round pick, Donnie, 87th overall, they take a linebacker out of Notre Dame. And I know a lot of people don't know this guy, but I was pretty high on him because he plays with a lot of smart. I mean, he's just super smart. He's a good, tough kid. This is another Zimmer type pick. He's a very hard nosed linebacker, good against the pass and the run. There's a chance he could come in and start this season at the linebacker spot. So, good pick there at the 87th pick in the third round. It's Marest Lefou. And this guy, Donnie, I tell you what, if you looked at the press conferences, the pressers that they had on all of them, this guy really, really impressed me. Just a really grounded, smart guy, and a football player. I mean, if you look at the film, you go back and look at the film on him, he was all over the place. And I like that size at linebacker, 6'2", 239 pounds. I mean, come on, man. What more could you ask for? You're getting good quality right there. And those 4 picks, Donnie, it would not surprise me if all 4 picks on day 1 of the first regular season game this year are in the starting lineup. Would not surprise me one bit.
It would me. The 2 defensive players would surprise me. I think obviously Nealon will be in the rotation. The thing about the defense is the way they play it in NFL now. Yeah, I mean, you could on that defensive line, you could almost say 8 guys are starters. I mean, because they play almost evenly for the most part. So,
yeah.
But this kid, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, he might be able to be a there you go. He might be able to be a surprise, and I thought maybe there was more need there. I mean, hopefully they'll address this later, and later on here, I'm sure we'll talk about something that they did do, but I don't think that really does anything for me at this position. But at 87, we picked him, right? This linebacker.
Yes.
We got Overshawn. We got the kid out of from Minnesota, the linebacker that we picked up in free agency, the only decent free agent pickup we got. So we kind of have those right there. I thought the Marshawn Lloyd out of USC, the running back, he went a pick right after the Cowboys picked at 87. He went at 88. And if you didn't address your running back at the second round or the first or the third round, then you had to do it at your second, third round pick. Hopefully they have a plan to address it, and I think I'd like to talk about that, maybe an option of a plan that they might have. But we'll see. He could be a surprise. He was a little bit of reach. He could have. I think you could have got this guy. Of course, you have to have teams to play with you, but I think you could have got this kid lower in the draft. You could have traded back a little bit, maybe picked up an extra 5th or whatever rounder, traded back, and still get that guy.
Yeah, but as a team, Donnie, you got to trust your board. And the Cowboys had to have him there for them to be able to do what they did. And again, they wanted to address some needs on that defensive side of the field. Hey, let's face it, man. The Cowboys, it was all smoke and mirrors 2 years ago when they were rated one of the top defenses in the league. Last year, they stunk. They were putrid. It was a horrible season defensively for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm even going to include Micah Parsons in it. At times, he faded away at games. He just wasn't even a factor in some games. Sometimes they were running right at him, and there was nothing he could do. So I like the fact that they identified players that they wanted at positions that they needed, and you have to trust the systems. I had all of these guys, every one of them, either ranked higher or I had them ranked right about where they were picked, including this linebacker, Donnie. So we'll see. I mean, the season's right around the corner. It's kicking off. I love the draft. It's a lot of fun. They did take 4 more, but we're not really we don't have enough time to talk about all those. Plus, we got a lot of content we want to cover. The Cowboys then, Donnie, let's talk about it because, man, I want to talk about it. I didn't see anybody other than the 3, and I'm going to talk about the 3 real quick. I'm going to talk about Jonathan Brooks, who's going to be a standout running back in the NFL. Really the only worthy running back in the NFL of a second-round pick, in my opinion. Jalen Wright out of Tennessee, and Trey Benson. All those three running backs were not available for the Cowboys at the pick level that the Cowboys were picking. So you can't fault the Cowboys for not taking a running back. Yeah, they could have took some jabroni in the fifth, sixth, seventh round. You could have done that. Remember, they didn't have a fourth round pick. So the Cowboys could have done something like that, Donnie, but they were all jabronis. Jabronis. The running back that you talked about, I had him in the fourth round. Look, I'm telling you right now, what the Cowboys have done is they have a lots of players in their depth chart right now at running back. Okay? They signed Ezekiel Elliott. He's back. And I know, Donnie, you are so pumped about this. There he is. He's back. He's agreed to the terms with the Cowboys. And what is the terms, Donnie?
1 year, $3 million.
1 year, $2 million. Now,
Three.
name a free agent running, $3 million.
$3 million.
Yeah, $3 million. Now, name one running back that's in free agency right now that you could sign that's better than Ezekiel Elliott, okay, that's going to come in and play for $3 million 1 year. Are there any?
I'm sure there is.
Here, let me help you. No, there's not.
I'm sure there is.
The only one that's decent that's having, he's wanting 10 mil. There's nothing out there that you can get for this 1 year, and you get a veteran presence. You get a guy that was one of the top running backs in the NFL at one time. He rushed for over 600 yards last year. Okay, the year in New England might have done something for him. I'm not saying he's the greatest running back in the NFL. I'm just saying he's better than anybody that you could have picked up in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round. And I do not fault the Cowboys for the ones that they took because there was nobody there. Jalen Wright was not there. Trey Benson was not there. Jonathan Brooks was not there when they had picks that was in the realm of possibility for them to consider any of them. And all those others are jabrones. Half of them, Donnie, or the majority of them, won't even make NFL squads. Running back is a devalued position. The Cowboys need to spend their money and their resources and their time at positions that they need more important than a running back. Okay? They did get Royce Freeman. He's going to be in that backfield. You've got the kid that they selected from Kansas State last year. Everybody's high on him because he's 5'4", and also they got who's that other guy, Donnie? I don't have him in front of me right now.
Dowdle.
Dabble, yes. Everybody's saying don't sleep on this guy, that he does have a little something and everything. It's going to be running back by committee. They're probably going to go into the season with 5 of them. And it would not surprise me that when they get into short yardage situations that you see the old Zeke coming out there, because that's what he's good for. And you play to your strengths. And so I don't fault the Cowboys for selecting Zeke. Obviously, it's a love situation with Jerry Jones and the staff that they went to him, but it's also a business decision. There is nobody. That's his value right now. Somebody was going to pay him that. That's his value right now. And you bring him in here because you're familiar with him and he's familiar with the area. And who knows? Maybe it's like, hey, man, don't ever send me to New England ever again. It's cold up there. Or, hey, I want to be a Cowboy for the rest of my career, and then I'm going to ride off into the sunset. And who knows, Donnie, it might be just 1 year. And if Dak Prescott doesn't pull his head out of his tuchus, who knows? Cowboys may be drafting in the very, very low first rounds next year, and they can select a running back.
I know they'll probably pick around the same spot they did this year, but maybe a little bit better. But I love your optimism because not too long ago you were like, I'm going to trade. I'm going to go to a different team. I'm going to do this. I hate the Cowboys, yada yada. But now you're basically saying everything they're doing is okay with you.
I like what they did in the draft, Donnie. I did like what they did in the draft. I understand what they're doing with free agency. They just don't have the money to spend. CeeDee Lamb he's a hood rat and he's holding them hostage. Dak Prescott is out of his flipping mind. He was overpaid when he got that contract, when he was injured. What is it with the Cowboys front office? If there's something you want to complain about, Donnie, it's their front office giving big money contract to hurt players. They did it with Gallup. He comes back and he's a flop. They did it with Prescott. Prescott was good last year. I liked what Prescott did last year. Year before last, he was horrible. He was horrible, and he did not deserve the money that they gave him, especially coming off that massive injury. It's ridiculous to me that the Cowboys make these big money contracts. They overpaid Zeke. They overpaid Zeke whenever they gave him the big contract. They gave who was the center that we had? Frederick. They gave Frederick a big contract, and then the next year he goes, you know what? I'm done with football. I think I just want to go set it home. Cowboys they're not smart when it comes to signing their star players or their big name players when it comes due to giving them contracts. And that's how they got in this money situation that they're in. Hopefully, those credit cards that Jerry keeps talking about, they're maxed out, and they're not going to do this crap because both CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are up for contracts. Do not overreach. If the Cowboys don't win in the playoffs this year, or if they don't make the playoffs this year, then I believe that you cut ties with Dak Prescott and maybe even CeeDee Lamb.
So then you're meaning you're going to start over. You're rebuilding.
I'm going to rebuild.
I mean, that's what you'd have to do. Yeah. A lot of people think, oh, let's get rid of Dak and get a different quarterback in there. We'll be fine. That people, it cracks me up.
It's not the player, Donnie. It's the money. I know
exactly.
I know that if you went and you tried to get somebody in the draft, let's say we're trying to get somebody in the draft, or we get somebody in free agency, we don't have to spend anywhere close to the crazy money that CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott want. And what has Dak Prescott done? I mean, what really has he done? Has he got us to an NFC championship? No. Has he been paid like an NFC championship player? Yes. So, yes, Donnie, I do talk a little bit bad about him in that. But what I fault is not Dak Prescott. I fault the organization for giving him that big money. Because if you give somebody that kind of money, you expect more results than a first-round exit.
Well, I think that a lot of teams out there say the same stuff every year, but there are teams out there that get it done. They still pay their quarterback or whatever big time money. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs; they got a lot of players that make big time money, but they're still able to win. So obviously, they're doing something right with all the other moves that they make, and that's where the Cowboys have failed. They are not making the right moves when it comes to the other players. You can win. I know a lot of people will say you can't, but you can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. You just got to have the others and the other moves be the right moves. And the Cowboys have failed at that. You got Dak Prescott, and I'll defend him a little bit because I always have, even though people like to pile on him. But last year he was second in the MVP vote.
Yeah.
If you're second in the MVP vote, how can you be that bad? Do you realize? I don't think people realize
he's not lived
how hard it is to find a good quarterback.
He hasn't lived up to that contract. He hasn't delivered what he needs to deliver with that contract.
Well, you said, how many times have I heard you say it's not just the quarterback? It's
right.
Everybody. It's the team.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Donnie. That's a good defense because those are my own very words. That is correct. But here's what I will throw back at you. He wants more freaking money. No.
Well, of course he does.
No.
Of course he does.
If he doesn't, and my words are, if he gets you to the Super Bowl or if he gets you to the NFC Championship, pay him because it was worth it. Okay. He was overpaid for a year last year. Okay, I'll give you that he might have played what he was worth that 1 year. Okay, but the year before, there's no way he earned that money. And you don't pay. You got to be smarter with your money, and you got to be able to spread it around more. they give top money to every superstar that they have, and you can't do that. The Chiefs don't do that. Look at their wide receivers, Donnie. You want any of the Chiefs wide receivers?
Well, we got one receiver that's better than their wide receivers, and that's it.
Okay, so who's our second wide receiver?
You tell me.
Well, Cooks is on the roster.
I think he's a free. Is he?
Yep, he's on the roster. And then your third one is Jalen Tolbert. So let's take Tolbert. Who on the Kansas City Chiefs? Name them, Donnie. Who on the Kansas City Chiefs would you take other than Tolbert?
I'm sure. Off the top of my head, I really don't know.
Well, they have Rashee Rice. You want him?
There was a kid named, I think Christian was in his name. You can't go wrong with the Christian kid. But no, I mean Tolbert that was a wasted pick, and I think didn't we?
I don't know, Donnie.
Yes, Tolbert was a waste. He hasn't done nothing in 2 years.
I'm pulling up their depth chart. I want to see. We're gonna have this little exercise right here live on the air, man. Because I'm sorry, the Kansas City Chiefs. You mentioned Patrick Mahomes. You can't mention Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott in the same sentence, Donnie. Patrick Mahomes is way over him. You're talking about Justin. Are you talking about Justin Watson, or maybe Kadarius Toney, who can't catch a ball? All the rest of them are free agents. Those are only two that are on their depth chart right now: Rashee Rice and Justin Ross. I'm telling you, Donnie, they don't have the top line wide receivers. And no, I would argue with you on the point that Justin Watson, Kadarius Toney, Justin Ross. Now I like Rashee Rice, but he doesn't know how to drive, and he's probably going to prison. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's only one Patrick Mahomes. And so people want to say, oh, let's get a Patrick Mahomes. You know how often a Patrick Mahomes comes around? You know, you'll go years and years and decades before you get a Patrick Mahomes, a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning. Those kind of players just don't come around very often. So
yeah, but you brought him up, Donnie, not me. You said Patrick Mahomes.
Right, but and they did pick Xavier Worthy, so they did get a little help. And then they have the best tight end in the league, Kelsey, which I'm kind of worried about that Travis Kelsey guy though, because he's not real smart on picking the ladies. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, he fell off a little bit too last year in his production. So yeah, that is something to watch. And
but they picked up a player that you like, David. You're going to be happy that the Kansas City Chiefs got their next tight end, Jared Wiley.
Yeah, Jared Wiley. What a smart pick there. Jared Wiley, Donnie, a lot of people, man, they slept on him. Boy, he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good.
He learned how to play when he was at the University of Texas. So
what?
He was at the University of Texas for a little while and then transferred. So he learned how to play there.
No, he stepped up. That's what you're saying. That's what you're really saying.
But, the whole Cowboys thing, I think
all right, grade the draft. I want your grade on the draft. Let's just use those top 4 picks.
Just that first round deal, the way they did it with the trade down and getting the extra pick, I think you got to give them at least a B+.
Yeah. I actually have them at an A-. There were a couple of players that were kind of there that I was kind of like leaning towards, but as a whole, I like the picks. I really, really like the 2 offensive linemen that they got. I'm totally opposed what you're saying. I think that they will start, especially those 2 guys. And like you said, maybe not the 2 rookie defensive players they got, but they'll be heavy in the rotation early in the season. You can guarantee that. These are players that are going to be on the team, and they're going to play a good amount of football And so congratulations to all of them that got picked, not just the 8. I'll run it down real quick. The other 4. Colleen Carson. He was a defensive back out of Wake Forest. Was the 174th pick. 126th pick was wide receiver Ryan Flournoy. Could be a sleeper. He played really good at the Senior Bowl. He should be a backup wide receiver. Nathan Thomas, another offensive lineman out of Louisiana. There's just not enough film on him, but they say he's an intriguing player with size and versatility. So that's something that you want. And they say he's really, really big. He's probably going to be a guard. Justin Rogers, 7th round pick at 244 out of Auburn. That's a defensive tackle. They say he's a run stopper up the middle. That's his strong forte. They're going to give him a look, see how he does. And if they don't have any other better choices, he may be even able to earn a spot on the roster. Look, not all 8 of those are going to make it, I don't think. I think the Cowboys, especially with Zimmer, especially on the defensive side, Zimmer's going to be really, really working these guys hard. And, folks, get used to Mike Zimmer, because if this is a failed season for the Cowboys, he could be your next head coach.
Yeah, he could very well be. I think can I mention a couple of a thing that I've looked at with the running back position. Obviously, this is a passing game now, and the running back is not as important, but you still got to be able to run the ball. And what the Cowboys have right now, you just cannot feel confident in our running game. So I think that there is options. If the Cowboys, and I know that with training camp, when training camp happens, there'll be injuries and whatnot. So it might take away from the options that the Cowboys would have. But you got to look during training camp on making a trade for a running back, because there are some running backs on other teams that will be available at a cheap rate because of what the teams have done in the draft or what they did in free agency. And I got 4 names for you real quick.
All right.
Miles Sanders out of Carolina. He's a guy I really like, and they picked Carolina's the one that drafted Jonathan Brooks. They have Hubbard still in contract. I think Miles Sanders might be available. Carolina would probably have to eat some of his contract because he just signed a 4-year deal, but he's a guy. Another guy, Khalil Herbert out of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I like him.
He's a guy that, the Bears and the free agency, they got DeAndre Swift, and they also got Rashawn Johnson and DeAndre Foreman. That's a guy that might be available, and he is really good. A lot of people don't know about him, but
yeah, he is. I like him.
He could be very cheap. Another guy that we saw when we went to a Cowboy game, they played the Texans, and I was impressed with Dameon Pierce. He's a guy that might be available because of what Houston has done. Houston, they have Joe Mixon. They picked up him in free agency. So, that's where Joe Mixon's going to get the most of the carries. And they got a draft pick in the 3rd round, Jawar Jordan. So you're not going to pick somebody in the 3rd round and just, not, cut them or whatever. So
one of those other guys, yeah.
Dameon Pierce might be available, and he could be available for like a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, and if you can get a starting running back with a 5th or 6th round pick, do it.
Yeah.
And then the last one that I got to mention is Javonte Williams for the Broncos. He's a guy that he's another really good player. He got hurt, but he was really good before that. He's only 24 years old. They've got some Samaje Perine, the old Oklahoma running back. They got free agent Jaleel McLaughlin that they're going to plan on giving carries to. And I think that he's really cheap. He's only $1.4 million. That's a guy that you can look for. And during the training camp time, maybe the Cowboys will make a trade for a running back and get somebody because what they have right now is not going to cut it. I
Well,
love Zeke. I love Zeke in 2018, 2016, but this is 2024, and he was washed up 3 years ago. You don't just come find the fountain of youth at the running back position. You got to do something.
we'll see. I'm a little bit more optimistic that they're going to use him in a certain role, and it's going to help them. I do not think they have all the horses in place, and it is a weak spot in the on the roster, and I think they will address it. So let's move on. Let's talk about my Texas Rangers. You know, the Texas Rangers did something last year, Donnie. What was it? What was it they did? God, what did they do? Oh, they won the World Series. So your World Series champions, the Texas Rangers, they are 16-14, a half game out of first place in the American League West. Seattle's leading that division, but man, I've got a feeling. I just got this weird feeling that you're fixing to see the Texas Rangers go on a big roll. They're currently playing the Nationals at home right now, and yeah, but I'm telling you, I like this team, Donnie. I think it's just as good, if not better, than what your World Series team is once our pitching gets back.
Yeah, that's the big thing is the pitching. You got three starters that are on injured, and they'll be coming back during midseason. Scherzer will probably be back sooner than that, but you got guys in the pitching staff that are still doing a good job. John Gray pitched a great game last night.
Yeah, he did.
I think that was one of his best games, if not his best, as a Texas Ranger. Um, but the one thing that's bothering me right now is obviously the offense. The hitting is not there. Seager is really struggling. Carter's struggling. The rookie Langford, I thought he would do a little bit more by now, but there is potential there. Garcia has really done a great job.
It's
I
early.
think our offense will get better. Our pitching will get better. It, Unfortunately, the West is not that great. Mariners are really good. They're the team to watch. I think the Astros are really obviously to a bad start, 10-19.
Yeah,
The A's obviously they're actually doing better than I thought they would, but they're not going to be a threat. The Angels they can't get out of their own way. Trout
yeah,
got
they're
hurt again. He's out for a while.
yeah 11
Um,
and 20. Donnie is the
yeah,
Angels record.
yeah. So I think I like the Rangers' chances. I really like this team. 16-14 is not what I thought they would be due by now, but obviously they've had a lot of injuries. Josh Young injury hurt them. The pitching injuries obviously has slowed them down, but this is a really good team, and the potential to be a great team is going to be there after midseason.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Um, Mo, uh, best offensive player right now for the Texas Rangers offensively.
I'd say Adolis.
Yeah, Adolis Garcia, man, he's having a heck. Pitching wise, who has been the brightest spot so far? The pitcher that has really stood out to you?
Well, I would have said Bradford earlier, but he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Bradford, I was
Exactly.
unfortunate for him because he was off to a great
He was
start.
really doing good. Yes.
Yeah, and he's going to be out for at least another month, I think. And um, it's not Heaney, that's for sure. He's
Nope. Nope.
um,
I'm gonna write down mine before you say anything. Hang on. All right, go ahead and say it.
well, I like the our closer. That guy, what's his name? The closer that we have.
Oh, you're talking about the Shaggy Yates.
Yeah, Yates.
Yates.
But other than that, Yates has been great. Obviously, he hasn't given no runs.
I was
Who do
talking
you got?
starting pitchers.
Dane Dunning.
Yes. You got to admit,
Well,
man, Dane Dunning. If you look at it, he as a pitcher, man. Now, okay, as a pitcher, if you look at all of the uh, uh, stat leaders, he's up there at the top or near the top in almost every category as one of the starting pitchers. Dane Dunning's done an exceptional job towing the line while we're waiting for these other guys to get back. And Scherzer is just right around the corner, I believe.
Yeah, I like Dane Dunning. I think he's a really good 2B or 3 starter that's going to be solid throughout the season. He proved that last year. I really like him. But the other, besides our closer, Yates, the other guy I'd have to say is John Gray. I mean, they threw him. He struggled a game. They put him in the bullpen, and he was really great in that one game we pitched in the bullpen. And he came back out, and the last 2 starts has been great. And especially last night, he's got one of the lowest ERAs in the month of April than any starting pitcher. So John Gray, and the thing about him, if you watch him pitch, like I always it would aggravate me because the guy's got incredible stuff, and he just never really fulfilled the potential. But he's got the potential, I think, to really be a guy that figures it out and comes in and could be a good number 2 starter in the league if he can be consistent with what he's proven this month of April.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that Dane's done his body of work at the starting position role, which was our weakest. We knew that in the bullpen we'd be okay and everything. He's done a really, really great job. And Gray, in his limited outings that he's had out there, has done very, very well, especially, like you said, this last month. So if the Rangers can just hold on for just a little bit longer, and just be near them. They don't have to be in first place. As long as they're near the first place mark and they're one of the top 2 teams in the West, when these pitchers get back, the Rangers are going to be almost unstoppable. And the bats will come around, Donnie. You can trust that. All right, let's move on to a playoff team going on right now. Hey, it's the end of the second period, and your score, the Dallas Stars, 3. The Golden Knights from Las Vegas, 2. So the Stars are leading and are poised to win the this game. They'll go up 3-2. And Donnie, they were 0-2. They were 0-2, and they come back and right the ship. Man, what a great story that is. And the the Dallas Stars, that is, they got one more period to go, Donnie. One more period. Cross your fingers that they do this, and you really got to give the player, I think, so far of this series is our goalie, man. Our goalie has just been lights out. He has just been amazing on for the Stars.
Yeah, one of the guys I really like. I watched Game 3, and I watched a lot of that. I watched, and unfortunately, I had to stay up really late because it went into overtime, and I was sitting there watching them like, oh, Lord, I got to go to bed, man. But it was tied up, and they went into overtime, and I'm glad I stayed up for it. It was midnight before I went to bed because that's when the game ended, basically. But Wyatt Johnson, he had the winning goal on that one. And Wyatt Johnson is a really good player. Robertson's another one. Yeah, obviously, there's a number of guys. Ben's still there, and but the goalie has done a great job. But Wyatt Johnson is the guy for me.
Yeah, I like Jason Robertson, Donnie, and I like him too as well. But man, Ottinger has just been he's just been nailing it, dude. And I'm telling you what, he especially early on, he had just everything coming at him. I mean, the kitchen sink, and he did an admirable job. Even in the losses, he was doing a great job and everything. So,
and I want to say one thing real quick on this series. The Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup last year. Mm-hmm. So, and this is a team that the reason they were seeded so low this season is because they had a lot of injuries.
A lot of injuries, yeah.
But they got their guys back, and so they're pretty much what they were last year. They got the guys back from injury, so this is a really good team. So it's not like a 1-8 seed. Hockey is really different than most of the sports where you got the 1 seed is a lot better than the 8 seed and whatnot. But you'll see a lot of these 7, 6, 7, 8 seeds advance, because hockey is just that way, especially when you get a really good goalie going. But this is a really impressive team. The Stars had the second best record in the NHL this year, so they're a pretty good team.
I put $6 of your money on the Stars to win this series, and I put 600 of my money on the Stars to win this series, and I think they're going to do it, and they're poised to do it. They're leading. They're leading after the second period, and we'll see how that goes. There's another playoff team, and I think they're going to play here in about 4 hours. Why? Why in the world do we have to be in the Western Division, Donnie? Because I can't stand these games that start at 9 o'clock. They don't realize I'm 59 years old. I need my sleep. You need your beauty sleep. I mean, look at you. And so we gotta do something about this. That's just way too late. 9 o'clock? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I always dread the West Coast games, and you get about 5 hours sleep, and the next day you don't want to talk to anybody and whatnot. But the only thing is, all I can say is they better win tonight, because if they lose and I stay up for it and I come in the morning, don't even be around me, because I ain't going to want to talk to you. Yeah, I'm not going to be your friend tomorrow morning if they lose.
Goodness. Donnie says you better get right. All right, well, so the Mavericks, they are playing their win probability today, Donnie. Listen to this. They're 57.1 favored to win tonight, which I don't know how they figured that out, but that's what they say. And, of course, they lost the last game, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Like 116, 111, something like that?
Yep. Yeah, okay. That was a tough loss.
Yeah. And then I heard there was a report that came out that Luka kind of tweaked his back a little bit in that game.
No, it wasn't his back; it's his knee. He did that in actually Game 3, the last part of the Game 3. He sprained his knee, and he struggled in Game 4 with it. He's not 100%. He even said if this wasn't playoffs, he'd probably not be playing tonight. But obviously, this is playoff, and you gotta suck it up and go. And it's unfortunate that you're not getting the best Luka, because the best Luka, this would not be a series, especially with the way Kyrie's been playing. Kyrie had a great game the last game, 40 points. Really kept the Mavericks in it, got them back in it. The Mavericks in the last game, Game 4, they were 31 points down in the first half. They came back in the second half, actually took a brief lead in the fourth quarter late, took a 1-point lead. And then the Clippers, the thing about that game Sunday was the Clippers can't shoot better than what they shot. They shot 66% at the three-point range. The Mavericks did not shoot as well. They shot 33% behind the arc. And that was the difference, George couldn't miss in the first half. He was just incredible, Paul George. And then Harden, I blame a little bit on Kidd for not making some adjustments late in the fourth quarter with Harden, the way he was penetrating to the bucket.
Right.
He was getting those shots up there. But the Clippers cannot shoot as good as they did the rest of the way. And the Mavericks, if Luka can, be at least 80% Luka, and Kyrie does his thing, and the others hit some buckets, the Mavericks will win this game. But
I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear no excuses, though, Donnie. They played. Game 4 was on Sunday. It was on Sunday. Today is Wednesday, and with sports medicine the way it is, and with all those medical personnel, trainers that they have and everything, Luka better be 112% tonight. And he better get up there, and I don't want to hear no whining, don't want to hear no crying, don't want to hear no excuses. I want to win, baby.
Hey,
you're
people forget
$21.
Yeah, people forget, though, the Clippers are the 4 seed, the Mavericks are the 5 seed. So even though a lot of the people were picking the Mavericks because the way they were playing at the end of the year, they were one of the best teams in the league, and they were, and I think they still can be. That's why I think they're a very dangerous team, in the playoffs. If they could get by the Clippers, I like them beating Oklahoma City in the next round, even though Oklahoma City will be well rested because they won their series yesterday.
Yeah.
Denver won their series. Minnesota won their series. So the only teams playing in the West is this series, and
Yeah, but
this could go 7 games.
yeah, this was the toughest matchup though. Out of all the series, this was the toughest matchup, and these two teams, they almost mirror. I mean, I think the Clippers had one extra game win over the Mavericks this year. So
Yeah.
when you say the 4th and 5th seed, it really didn't mean a whole lot. I think the Mavericks were playing better ball towards the end of the season than what the Clippers were. Also, to believe that just as a team wise, the Mavericks are a better team, and but I want to see them execute a little bit better, make better decisions shooting the basketball. Sometimes they look like they're rushed when they come down on the offensive end, and that they gotta hurry up and post up and shoot. Hurry up and post. Take your time and get the right shot off.
Yeah, I think one of the things that hurt on the last game, they've been playing really good defense in this series and in the last part of the regular season. And one of the things that hurt them in Game 4 was Luka getting early foul trouble, and even though he was hurt, and that limited him already. But with him being in foul trouble, he couldn't take a little bit of the risk that he would normally do, and that's one of the reasons he would create some steals and whatnot because some of the risks he could take. He couldn't do that in the second half because he had 4 fouls in the first half. So
Right.
you got to stay out of foul trouble. You got to get I think Gafford and Lively should be in there when they really. I think that's why I didn't like Kidd not having one of those guys in there late in the game Sunday because Harden he felt free to go inside and put up those shots. If Gafford or Lively was in there, I think there's a chance, at least there's some, ability to block some shots or create some doubt in Harden's mind.
Exactly.
Even though they could do some pick and rolls and some screens and whatnot. But I just didn't like that decision, not having one of those guys in there late in the game.
Yeah, I concur. I believe so as well. So the Mavericks and the Clippers will play game 5? Game 5 at 9 o'clock tonight. And Donnie, you tell me how that comes out, okay?
We didn't go over our list yet.
We do have a list coming up, but real quickly, I want to give everybody an update. In case anybody doesn't know, this happened this year. Does anybody not know that our Total Rattlers were state finalists last year, Donnie? Does anybody not know that?
I know that.
2A Division 1. They will be 3A Division 2 this year. And here it is one more time. That is your schedule right there. Here, let me get that banner off so you can see the whole schedule. There it is. Boom. And so those first 2 games there, Cisco and Jacksboro, those are scrimmages. We will open up the season on the road in Peaster, and hopefully Wi-Fi will hold up, and we'll be able to bring you that game. The sports team will be carrying all the Total Rattlers football games this year, and it's a great time. If you want to be a sponsor, you better get a hold of me quick. I'm only going to carry 10 this year, and we're going to get going on that hard and heavy. So give us a call and let us know, or hit us up on Facebook and let us know that you want to be a sponsor, because I'm only taking 10, Donnie.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So are you ready? It is time.
And a shout out to the Toller baseball team about to start their playoffs.
They start Friday in Itasca.
Mm-hmm. And then our girls softball, Toller girls softball, is in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're going to play Collinsville Friday night.
They won by district. Do what, Donnie?
They'll be playing Collinsville Friday night, right?
Yes, Collinsville. Of course, the boys lost to Collinsville last year, but the boys will be in Itasca. They'll be taking on Moody for the 4th year in a row in by district, and both those games Friday night will be brought to you by the Sports Scene, if weather permits. Because guys, we're getting some bad weather. Bad weather. Is it raining out there, Donnie, or can you tell?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Doesn't look like it. Not right now.
Oh man, we had it coming down over here. It was
really
bad. Oh yeah, and the wind was a blowing. Okay, this is our list today. It's the top 5 sports bucket list brought to you by Mr. Effervescent himself over there, Donnie Wood. Donnie, set us up with this sports bucket list.
All right, so basically, it's your sports bucket list. What you would want to do sports wise for a bucket list. Everybody has different kind of bucket list. One of the things on my bucket list, non-sport related, is to go to Scotland, and um, one of them is to go to Hawaii. Stuff like that. And there's all kinds of different bucket lists. So this is sports related. So give us your top 5 sports related bucket lists.
You're freezing up, Donnie.
Do you want me to go first?
Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Say it again.
You look fine to me.
Top 5 what?
Top 5 sports bucket list.
So here we go. Let's start with number 5. You want to fire it off, or do you want me to go?
I'll go first. My number 5 is I've always wanted to go, because I'm a baseball guy. I've always wanted to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
The Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's very, very good. Number 5 for me is I want to go this year to a playoff Ranger game. I've never been to a playoff Ranger game.
I have.
Care. I know you have. You've been. Somebody bought you tickets. I know.
No.
I want to go to a playoff baseball game with my brothers, Doug and Donnie. I want the sports scene to be represented at a Rangers playoff game. That's something easy y'all can do. You just got to buy me a ticket and take me.
Yeah, and obviously, mine is. Obviously, I'd want to do that, and mine are more like something that I don't have to worry about the team making it to a certain level and whatnot. So it's something that I know can be done for sure. My number 4 is I want to go see the Cowboys play in Lambeau Field in Green Bay.
Yeah. Lambeau will make a appearance on my list. So very good. Lambeau Field, man, what a great place. My number 4, y'all can do this year. All you got to do is buy me 2 tickets to the Dallas Stars playoff game. Dallas Stars playoff game. I want to go. That's one of my bucket lists. And with June, some of my bucket list, Donnie, is going to be more obtainable because I'm so dadgum old. I want obtainable stuff. So I want to go to the Stars playoff game, but I want to take June because I took June to a Stars game and it was a blast. It's the only sporting event I could take June, and she didn't have her tablet watching a movie or reading a book or eating nonstop and saying this food is really good. I'm going to go get some more. And walking. She doesn't have any interest in baseball. Doesn't have any interest in football. But man, she does like her some hockey and some Dallas Stars. So, yeah, that's one.
Well, you can do that. This year, and because they're in the playoffs.
All you gotta do is buy me some tickets, Donnie. You buy me some tickets, and we'll go.
My number 3 is.
He gets off of that real quick.
My number 3 is I want to see my favorite team of anything, any sport out there, my Texas Rangers, the World Series champion Texas Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see them play in Fenway Park. So, obviously, my last one was the Cowboys in Lambeau.
In Lambeau.
Iconic stadium. I want to see the Rangers play in Fenway Park, which I actually visited. Me and Story, we went to Boston 2 years ago.
No, you went to Boston.
We toured. Yeah, we went and toured the Fenway Park. That was pretty cool. But I want to see my Texas Rangers play there.
Where would you sit? Where would you want to sit?
I would want to sit in the Green Monster seat.
The Green Monster, yeah.
I know those are hard to come get, but
I'd either want to sit there or you can rent out those buildings behind there. Do they still have the buildings behind the Green Monster where you can watch the game?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they used to rent them out, and people would sit up there and watch the game through the windows and everything. Pretty cool. All right, we're at 3, right?
Yeah, you're number 3.
Okay, my number 3. I have a grandson, and his name is Champ, and he is right now one of the top non-junior high. How do they say? He's one of the top junior players. Okay, in uh, Tennessee. He just went to a showcase and did extremely well. They've got high schools that are talking to his mom and dad about basically moving into their area so that when he starts playing for schools, he gets on their. This is how good this young man is. He's really really good. So I want to go to Tennessee and be there when Champ is playing high school football. I don't just want to see one game. I want to see several, but I want to experience it. And obviously, with them living way out in Tennessee, Donnie's going to have to buy me a plane ticket and hotel accommodations and limo service to and from the games and the grocery store. So Donnie, you get busy on that one too.
I will do that. How old is he right now?
Champ is he is in the 5th grade right now, I believe.
All right. Well, we got time to save some money and we'll definitely do that. If he's still up in Tennessee and they haven't, if you're gonna not live in Texas, Tennessee's not a bad place to be.
Oh, wouldn't it be cool if me and you went up there and watched them and we did a sports scene from the bleachers?
I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
That'd be great. All right. And what's your number 3?
I already did my 3. Number 2.
Oh, number 2.
My number 2 is something that's going to be happening in a couple of years here locally. I'm gonna do this. I got to find a way to get the tickets, and I preferably want to go with my daughter Lauren because we're both soccer people. But the men's World Cup is coming here to Dallas in 2026. They're going to be hosting in the United States and in Mexico and Canada. The World Cup is going to be hosted in those countries, and Dallas Cowboy Stadium is actually going to be hosting some of the games.
They're going to have a bunch of cups there.
Oh my God! So the World Cup, the biggest sporting event in the whole world, is going to be here in Dallas, Texas, and there's going to be games played. And I want to, hopefully, the USA team will be playing, and I want to be at that game. I want to see the USA team play in the World Cup here in Dallas in 2026, June and July.
There's a chance, Donnie, because I hear that the U.S. players are the best at tossing those little bean bags in those holes. And is that what the World Cup is? You get the World Cup if you win. What is that called? Where you throw the bean bag at the little hole and it hits.
That's cornhole, David.
Cornhole. That's it. That's all. And then they give you a World Cup if you win. If you're the best cornholer.
I know soccer is a little bit more too smart for you as a
Why do you want soccer? She's your daughter. You don't hit your daughter. What is wrong with you?
I can't with you.
Oh, you're talking about European football where they kick the ball and the final score is 1-0?
Yeah, the most popular sport in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Ronaldo still play?
Messi still plays. Messi's playing in the States right now.
Cool. Is Beckham still play?
No,
he doesn't.
No, Beckham does not play anymore.
Does that girl who takes her shirt off when she scores, does she can play?
That was like 20 years ago, sir.
Oh. Okay.
Go ahead. Give us your number 2.
My number 2 is to go to Lambeau Field. Donnie had it down all the way down there at number 5. That's how bad his list is. I have it right here at number 2. I want to go to Lambeau Field. I've been to Arrowhead Stadium. Man, what a rush. That was really cool. I've been to the Orange Bowl in Miami. I really, 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 really want to go to Lambeau. What an iconic stadium it is. And it don't even have to be a Cowboy game. What I'd really like to see there is the Bears and the Packers because they hate each other. And boy, I feed off the crowd and the energy, man. So it'd be a lot of fun. Because what I would do is I would take a Packer jersey and a Bear jersey, and whoever were the smallest people sitting around me that had like if there were a lot of small people or old ladies that had Packer jerseys, I'd just put on a Bear jersey and start rooting for the Bears. If there was, a lot of, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If it
yeah.
was opposite, I'd do it the opposite way.
I got you.
Lambeau Field, I want to go see it, man. What a great place. I want to see some foosball there. And I want to go when it's nice and uh, good weather. I don't want to go when it's snowing, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I don't
My
want to go when
bones
it's
hurt,
cold.
man. I'm old and decrepit, and I just don't want to do that.
That's right. That's why we stay in Texas. My number one, David, is all these ones that I've listed are something that I know I can do. It can happen for me. Um, and my number one is one I can't believe I haven't already done. I'm sad that nobody's made that happen for me. But I've got before I die, I've got to go, and it's crazy that it's right here next door to me. I've got to go to a Texas OU game. That's my number one bucket list item.
Really, you haven't been to a Texas OU game?
Yeah, so if anybody that watches this now or later or whatever, and they got connections, because their tickets aren't cheap. I'll even buy my ticket, but I've got to make that happen. I've got to go to a Texas OU game, and in my time, and that's my number one because
Well,
Texas Longhorns is my team.
hey man, I'm right there with you. I think that would. I've been. Well, you need to go. It's really cool. All right, you ready for my number one, which is really really good?
Yeah, it's going to a bowling game or something.
Oh man, I didn't think about that.
The Cornhole Championship
I
on
didn't think
ESPN.
about. I didn't think about the bowling.
The
Well, I
cow
still want
manure
to do this.
tossing.
This is my number one. I want to go to Canton, Ohio, during the enshrinement week, and they play a game. With I want to experience it all, but I want to be there for a couple of days. I want to go. I want to go, and I want to watch them the induction. But I want to spend 2 days going through the facility because they say you can't do it all in one day. So I want to go 2 days and do that, and then I want to see the enshrinement, and I want to do all that. But I want you to go with me. I just think that it's something that I should do with one of my brothers, mainly you, because uh, Doug would be, getting in trouble and getting arrested and all that good stuff and everything. So, yeah. So that's what I want to do. I want to go to Canton, Ohio with Donnie Wood and for the whole Hall of Fame weekend. And man, what a rush that would be.
That would be fun. That'd be great. I would love to do that.
It is awesome. It is awesome. More importantly, folks, what is your bucket list? You can always give us a message here on our social media outlets. Of course, we are on Facebook. We are also on YouTube, and you can always send us cards and letters and all that good stuff. And you can send me money and cookies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can give it to me.
You want cookies?
Yeah, cookies would be good too. We
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we are paid by cookies as well.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, man, what a week this is. Don't forget, playoff action going on. The Mavericks and the Clippers, they'll be tipping off here in about almost, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I got to get going.
Yeah, 10 minutes. And then let me look one more time before we get out of here. Why don't you say bye to the crowd, Donnie? Give us your take.
My take is the Mavericks will win tonight. They'll win in Game 6, and they'll be playing Oklahoma City in a few days, and they're going to beat Oklahoma City.
Okay, 11:02 left in the third period. The Dallas Stars 3. The Golden Knights of Las Vegas 2.
Yes.
The Stars are winning, folks, and it is
Go Stars.
Yes, they're going. They're going. And so, man, it's been fun. I want to thank Donnie for joining us tonight in Sports Sheen here. Doug is still alive. I did check. He is still alive. He's out there somewhere.
He just don't love us.
Well, no, his wife said he couldn't come on with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Afraid
got to
what
do as
he's
he's
going to
told.
say.
He's got to do as he's told.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Donnie, I want you to have a great week, and we're going to be doing some more of these, kind of getting everybody brushed up for this upcoming season. And folks, here's the deal. There will be some playoff baseball. We're going to get some games in. Hopefully, if the weather's cooperating, we'll have high school playoff baseball on Friday. 2 games in Itasca against Moody for by district. But next year, only football. We're only going to be doing football next year. No basketball, no baseball. And so stay tuned to that, and it's going to be a lot of fun. 3A. But who is that, Donnie? Is that Luca?
That's Luca.
But he's not complaining. All right, Donnie. Until next time, I'll see you later. You have a great time. And folks,
adios.
We'll see you next time on the sports scene. God bless.